Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode 97 of the Nearly Men Video Games podcast, coming to you live on Twitch from Scotland on Thursday, 14th October 2021. I am Blunderboy87, and joining me today is Colin Little.
Hello.
And along with Paul Kaczynski, we are the Nearly Men. And this episode of the podcast is brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy.
Mr. Producer.
We have nothing to do with the video games industry. We don't make them, we don't sell them, and we're not even particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point, you have probably kicked our asses online.
Yeah. Here we are.
Woo!
Look
Hello,
at you.
hello, hello.
How you doing? How you doing,
I'm
Blunderboy?
good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I just had to fix. I had a wee green screen issue there that I had to fix while you were doing your intro there, but I fixed it.
Flawlessly fixed it.
I'm sort of, again, this is mostly for viewers rather than the podcast listeners, but it's a whole new world that I've got. Me and Blunder are samesies with our wireless headphones, and
We are.
I feel so free.
It's great. A wireless headset just opens possibilities of being able to hear what you're listening to for anywhere in the house.
Yep, got the toilet. Still listen.
Yep.
Still listen away.
I have to go downstairs to like put the washing machine on or like the dishwasher. I just go down and keep listening in my ears.
Just
And I
listening
say
to
to
getting
you-
trash talked.
Yeah, last night I almost went to bed with the headset on. I forgot it was on my head, and I was like, "Oh, can I go to bed with this on?" So welcome to the wonderful world of wireless headsets.
I know. I was the last one to jump on the whole wireless bandwagon. But they're very nice, very comfy. This is not an ad, but it is SteelSeries 7,
Yeah,
which is what we all have now.
yeah, we all got the same ones.
Paolo's got the black ones, and me and Blunder went for the cool white ones. Blunder had them. I copied Blunder. You had them
To
first.
be fair, there's only two choices, so you're copying someone either way. I was so glad I got them. I kept doing that thing where I forget they were wired in, and with my old headset, and go to stand up and like get yonked back to the computer desk. I was like, almost broke my neck a few times. Almost broke it. I think I broke a set of headphones as well.
Oh my goodness.
But no, it's funny how quickly. I said this the other day. It's funny how quickly technology changes. So like 10 years ago, everything was still wired. Like I remember I was in America and I got a really cool pair of Skull Candy running headphones. So the ones that had the kind of
They'll
hooks
look-
that hook
uh-huh.
over your ear, and they were like top of the range back then. And then there was a meme post on Instagram which was like it was like, oh no, I'm not poor. These are just vintage, and it was wired headphones, and I was like, well, it's true because everyone has wireless headphones these days, pretty much.
Yeah, well, I was using wired ones for my stream, obviously, but I do have a pair of AirPods that I like a lot. They don't fit my ears very well, unfortunately.
Oh really?
Yeah, they don't fit my ears particularly well. I mean, they're okay, but it's, like, see if I go to the gym or something, trying to run. The one time I went to the gym this year, trying to run with them did not work very well.
Oh, see,
I spend all my time like having to shove them back into my ears.
Oh, that's awkward because they're so expensive. Like I get a pair of like they're like 25 quid. I asked them for my birthday. And they're super comfy, but they stay in really well. See the treadmill, they're locked into yours. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And they'll charge last for ages. Like if I had to charge the case once, and that's been since like July, and they're still just like, hi.
I tried we had sort of, me and Sherry Bombs both had sort of like cheap versions of AirPods for ages, and you got them online and they didn't charge well, or one of them would stop working, and they were just rubbish. And I have to say, the actual Apple AirPods are actually very good.
That's good.
The battery life on them is excellent. The sound is really great. They just don't fit my ears very well. But there's another set called the AirPods Pro, which have got like the wee rubber bits on the end of them, so they go a bit further in your ear and hold on. But they were like an extra £100 on top of an already very expensive set of headphones. So
they're so expensive.
I wasn't getting that.
No, it's when you see like all these teenagers walking around with them, and then they're so nonchalant. They're like, I've lost my AirPods. I'm like,
I did
Nah,
lose.
that's how you know you're old.
I did lose
Visually.
one AirPod in the
Oh,
car park at the Glasgow Fort one time, and I spent 45 minutes looking for it while
did
having
you
a
find it?
meltdown. I did find it. I found it literally just under the wheel of my car. It had just fallen out as I got out the car and rolled under the wheel. Just so well didn't reverse, I would have
Oh my
destroyed
gosh.
them.
Yeah. Well, at least you won't lose the ones on top of your head.
No, I will not.
They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
I will
You
not.
will not. But no, it's interesting the headphones debate, and it's always interesting to find out what everyone else has. So, viewers and listeners, let us know the most exciting question of the day: do you have wired or wireless headphones? And to let us know, here's how you can do that.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kaczynski, all one word. Follow Gary at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
Yes, what are you waiting for? Blunder, what are you waiting for?
Christmas.
It's not even Halloween yet.
Well, actually, I'm not waiting for Christmas. I'm waiting for December 3rd because that's when the Resident Evil movie comes out in the UK. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, right, okay. So I did wonder when this would come up. I did wonder
Yeah.
when this. We spoke about this a little bit on my stream the other day. So I sort of know your opinions, but is there
Yeah.
anything you'd like to share with the lovely Nearly Men listeners about this particular trailer that has
I
released?
just think so. There's two trailers. There's like the one they released, and there's like an international trailer. A trailer. Apparently, they both make the movies look very different, which I'm interested about. But I'm refusing to watch the international one because I don't want it to be spoiled. Which sounds daft because it's Resident Evil. I
And
know
it
Resident Evil.
seems to follow the stories of the games very
But
strongly.
yeah, so it's taking like the core stories of the games and the characters, but put their own spin in it. Adapted the characters' looks a wee bit, modernized them a wee bit, or made them a wee bit more like their own kind of version of it. It's got a really nice diverse casting, almost like colorblind casting, which I'm here for. But the story itself also they've got their own spin in it and added their own elements, but it doesn't seem to detract from the key storyline. But no, I'm very excited. I watched the trailer and streamed like the whole time in excitement. And from what looking online, some people are very positive towards it, like me. Some people are really negative, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like a cheap B movie," and I'm like, "Well, it is, and
That's
that's
what it
why it's
should
good."
be, yeah.
I'm like, we've all remember the original Resident Evil. It was a homage, however you say the word, to B movie horror films. That
You
was
were
what you
almost
say
a
when
Jill sandwich.
yeah, like I have this. It's like it's so cheesy. And the storylines are cheesy, but no, I think it looks great. The CGI sometimes looks really ganky, but again, I like that it looks a wee bit ganky. There's lots of practical effects in it, which is nice.
Yeah.
The sets look outstanding. The
Yeah.
sets look great. Lots of people are like, "Oh, I love how they've got that 1998 camera look to it," and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about because it doesn't look like that to me. And then there's the fact as well. At one point in the trailer, they use a clip from Code Veronica. Claire's watching a film, and there's a clip from that game in it, and I was like, "Oh, that means they're gonna do more films." Like, to me, it was all very, very exciting, and it's gonna totally supersede the absolute dog mess that was the first slew of Resident Evil live action movies. Like, they just make me so angry. The first one was fine. And then I
thought the first one was all
the first
right.
one's decent, but Glutton for Punishment, I went to see every other one in the cinema, and I was 17. Yeah, because I was dog in school. I was 17 when I saw the second one, and me and my
Scandal.
pals bunked off school Thursday morning, Cineworld, or UGC. It was probably UGC.
Probably
when I
was
went.
UGC then, yeah.
£1.50 for a ticket because it was during the day, and we went to see Resident Evil Apocalypse. It was already off to a bad start when the cashier gave me salty popcorn instead of sweet because I don't like salty popcorn on its
What,
own.
even nowadays when you get the salty and sweet?
See, that I can do, that's fine, but like that one, it was just salty, and I was raging, and I was feeling salty. And at one point, I actually stood up in the cinema and shouted out in absolute rage, and my pals had to like yank me down to sit back down because they just did so many stupid, annoying things in it. And I sat for the whole film going,
I don't think there would ever be anything quite as indignant as a teenage blunder boy.
oh,
Just
I was
furious.
livid. And you know, the other ones I'm not quite as annoyed at. I think it was probably because my age, but probably because as well they just like destroyed the whole point of everything in Resident Evil with that second film. And they continue to do so in the later ones, but I was kind of at that point I didn't care so much, but I just remember being so annoyed, and also the salted popcorn, which did not help. So I was already in a bad mood and I was just raging.
I don't
So
really remember the second one, the second film.
It's where Alice becomes the Mary Sue of Mary Sues. Like every time Jill Valentine, like kicks butt, stars member, amazing action hero. Every time she has the glimmer of doing something cool, suddenly it doesn't work, and Alice saves the day. And you're just like, what? And then Jill and Nemesis don't even get to fight, even though he's chasing her as a Stars member. And it's all about Alice and how Nemesis is in love with her. Ah!
That seems a bit weird.
Oh, and then they rip off the amazing opening to Code Veronica at one point as well, and I was just like, oh. See, when I own them all on Blu-ray as well, because again, glutton for punishment. But like, I watched that film and I just squirm with rage the whole time.
Squirm with rage. There we are. Unauthorized Cinnamon mentioned it in the chat, and I was saving it for later on, so we will come back to it. But and we'll make you squirm with rage a little bit more. But yeah, it's.
But yeah,
the new film does look good. Yes. I love the colorblind casting. My only thing I'm slightly concerned about is I think Leon's hair's a wee bit too long. That's the thing that bothers me. I don't think a police officer, he's not an undercover police officer. I don't think you would be allowed to be a cop with your hair quite as long as that.
Remember, for those who don't know, and we see a clip out the trailer, Leon arrives late to his first day in the job from New York because he was hungover and gets caught in traffic.
So he's a bad police officer.
Yeah, so when he gets there, and we see it in Resident Evil 2, the remake, he's not in his uniform, and he finds the uniform and puts it on, and we see Claire hand him the uniform in it, so that can explain why his hair's not cut and it's not pulled back and something. It's so...
Okay, I mean...
There's
you sound like a Leon hair apologist, but I'll let you away with it.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. I think it looks quite good. It does look a wee bit naff, but kind of in a good way. There was a period of time in my life where I hated the idea of anything that was a bit hokey and a bit naff, and but I think you start to appreciate that, and if that's part of the charm, if that's kind of what they're going for, and Resident Evil itself is. I saw a lot of folk annoyed about the itchy tasty stuff, and whether or not a zombie would write stuff or know how to write stuff and know how to, but
who's getting around to Itchy Tasty? Itchy Tasty is iconic.
Exactly.
That's the first game back in 1996.
Exactly.
People just need to just go back and check themselves.
The thing is, though, right? The thing is, I think if you start getting annoyed about stuff like that, I mean, this is the thing, right? If you start getting annoyed about stuff like that, then I don't know. I remember going to see Pirates of the Caribbean, right? I saw Pirates of the Caribbean 3 in the cinema, right? And there was this bit where Jack Sparrow, there's a big, massive sea battle happening, right? Two pirate ships are sort of circling this big whirlpool, and Davy Jones and Jack Sparrow are having a sword fight, and there's a point where like Jack Sparrow cuts a rope, and he grabs a hold of the end of it, and it pulls him right the way up to the top of the mast, and he swings round, and then he lands on the mast of the other ship and continues the sword fight, right? And this guy, I was watching the film with one of my pals from college, just went, aye, right. And and I sort of turned to him mid-cinema, and I was like, mate, he's fighting a man that's half squid, and that's the problem. That's the bit that you could, so it's kind of funny how we
it's the thing, like, the whole thing Resident Evil as well, like, and the survival horror games at their core, you find notes from people who are like, oh no, something's coming up the corridor, it's about to get me. No one writes a diary entry as they're about to get murdered. Like,
Well,
it's
speak
just
for
part of the
yourself.
atmosphere. Maybe, actually,
I
I probably would.
constantly write my diary just in
With
case I get murdered.
the squiggly last letter down the page and a
Yes,
drop of blood.
dying.
But the Itchy Tasty diary is actually one of the best things about Resident Evil because it proves that it's an infection because they're infected with the virus and it's the T virus. I'm ranting now, but the T virus it breaks down the cells and restructures human DNA. That's what it is. That's why the zombies are
Jeez, spoilers for a
they're
30-year-old game, mate.
they're not meant to be a thing. They're an accident. They're not part of the bioweapon. It's a side effect. So because they don't actually get reanimated for the dead a lot of the time. The core zombies are just
Yeah, they're still
their
quote-unquote alive.
Their hearts slowed to the point where it does the beat as fast. There's like a sciencey thing behind it. So the Itchy Tasty diary does make sense because it shows the virus killing the brain cells and reworking it to hunger, and that's actually one of the best things for the first Resident Evil movie. When the Red Queen talks about how the virus is made, and she does the iconic line, "They have a need, the need to feed," which was used as a tagline for the film, and that was I would give props. I was like, oh, that is good because it does. It's just that prime instinct it gives, but.
Who knew that Itchy Tasty was such a trigger for Blunderboy? I mean, me, to be fair. I think I did know.
That's just me hating people, as usual. But besides Resident Evil coming out, there is something I'm extremely looking forward to.
Oh, yes.
My birthday. No,
Oh, God.
This Saturday.
It's not your birthday, mate. Your birthday's been. It's my birthday next. It's my birthday next. Not for
this
ages.
Saturday is not Colin's birthday, but this Saturday is, of course, one of the highlights of the Nearly Men year. It is, drum rolls please, Save Point Weekend. Woo!
Yeah! There's the poster. There's the lovely poster.
We love a poster moment.
Look at this.
So, yes.
No, I was just you were about to do very, very important things, but I was just going to laugh at your bones face. But yes, why don't you tell us all the important stuff?
Oh no, don't make me do it because I don't have my information in front of me. This Saturday, what's the date? Saturday the 16th.
It's the 16th, yeah.
Yeah, so Saturday 16th of October 2021 at 7 p.m. over on the Nearly Men on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/the Nearly Men. We will be doing 24 hours of gaming, and the theme this year is to boldly go. Yeah,
it's the Nearly Men boldly go. Yes,
boldly go. It's like I've said something wrong now, and it's all space themed, which I'm very excited about. When you first said that, I was like, "Do we have that many space themed games?" And yes, the answer is yes, we do.
We do. Yes. You can donate at www.thenearlymen.com. Please do it. You can donate right now. You can donate during the event. Please do. It all goes to a very worthy cause. And yeah, I suppose the one thing I say, I'm in charge of the schedule. Basically, I've been sort of working through that, installing various games and trying to figure out what.
Colin has been working very, very hard, and I know you don't believe that, folks, but he has.
I genuinely have. They're sort of broadly sci-fi related. They're sort of so not every one of them is a space game. Some of them are sort of sci-fi on Earth, or some of them are sci-fi on other planets. But there's lots of space stuff as well. And we've got a few sci-fi treats and surprises for you all as well.
We do.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's an interesting one when you do come up with a concept for this. I always try to do something, and actually this year was really difficult to come up with anything. And I was sort of thinking, well, maybe we'll just do a sort of greatest hits, or maybe we'll just do 24 hours of games and we'll keep it loose. But I do think it's fun to have a sort of theme and an event around it, and actually doing sci-fi will be a lot of fun. There's some really great games that we're going to play, and it's actually going to give us a good opportunity to play with the community as well. So
I cannot wait. Community games are fun, and we do have a few community games in and schedule, don't we?
We do, yeah. So, shall we? Will I go through some of them? We'll discuss.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Let's have a. This is a little sneak peek for some of our community members, and I've tried to schedule them so as that, you know, regardless of whereabouts you are in the world, you might have a chance to play. So the first community game will be starting nice and early, 2 hours into the event. So at 9 p.m. we're going to go into space and we're going to play Star Wars Squadrons. That's the one. This game is available to Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. If you've got Game Pass Ultimate, which has EA Play or whatever it is called, connected with it, this is part of the collection there. We're going to be playing it on PS5, but it is fully cross-play with Xbox and with PC and PlayStation. So whatever platform you are on, if you have Star Wars Squadrons, you can play with us. What you will need to do is to set up, I think it's called an EA, is it an EA Play account? EA account?
Yeah, something like that.
So if you...
Which, to be fair, you need anyway, I think, to access EA Play.
So what to do is send... if you're a member of the Discord or you've got us on Twitch or whatever, send it to me either on Twitch, I'm calling NM, or you can find me in the Nearly Men Discord, of course I'm calling NM in there as well. Send me a message with your EA Play account name and I will add you to the team. So And we can do that. We'll play various games. We'll be in teams. I'll need to check exactly what various game modes are available in Squadrons just now. But we can have a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. We played a bit of this a while ago with the community, and it was lots of fun. We were terrible at it. The
last time we played this was the 24 hours last time.
That was true.
Someone came online and insulted me, and I had my face for about 5 minutes.
That's right. Blood took the huff big time. Yeah,
I took the huff. It was very funny. And then it get to a point where everyone was a bit like, "Is it still funny, or is he actually upset?" Well, I was sitting here casting away with my camera.
It was really awkward. We're laughing. He's absolutely raging. Yes. So that's that. What's your thoughts? You like Squadrons, don't you?
I like it. I'm awful at it. I don't understand what I'm doing, and I die really quick. But it's good fun. I like zooming about and like screaming. I sound like now when Luke's doing the space battles in R2D2s and his little bit, he's like, "Wah!" I'm like that. I'm like just making those random noises like R2D2.
So that'll be a lot of fun. I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with the community on that. Another game we've got is, this is Sunday afternoon. This will be at 1:30 p.m. roughly. These times might change ever so slightly. They won't change dramatically. It might change by, half an hour here or there. But we're going to play some Predator Hunting Grounds. So the threat from space is coming to us. Now, this game is also cross-play between PlayStation and PC. So if you have the game on PC, I think you have to have it through Epic, if I remember correctly. And I think you need to send us your Epic store account or Epic friend account. Again, if you have that game on PlayStation, send us your PlayStation ID, gamer tag, whatever, PSN name. And if you've got it on PC, send me your Epic. I can't remember what it's called. I would open it just now, but opening Epic would be a disaster in this machine right now. All the various people are trying to load about 1 trillion games up.
And then the stream exploded.
So, yes, send us your details and we'll get that. What we'll be looking for is one person to come and fight with the Nearly Men, and we'll be looking for somebody to come in as the Predator and try to kill us. But we might swap about. Some of us might be Predator as well. I'm looking forward to playing it again, seeing if it's any better. It was a bit rough around the edges. Coincidentally, I hear there's a potential rumour that Ilphonic are working on a Ghostbusters game now.
Oh, really? I heard they're working on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game.
Apparently one of the developers let slip that the next big license game that they're working on, and the same sort of thing's a Ghostbusters game. That would work. There are four.
That'd
There
be
are
quite
four
cool.
Ghostbusters, aren't there? So
And like it's quite different in the sense that the Ghostbusters are quite powerful.
Mhm.
Whereas, like that sounds like it could be quite good.
So that could be quite cool.
But I mean, Phonic,
Well,
they don't have the best track record in my opinion. And the games are fun, but then it's very much. I've said this before. I feel very much it's our games are fun, play them, and then they move on, and then there's like no love for the games really.
aye, well, yeah. So there's that one that's at past, and then straight after that, we're going to jump into Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're going to be playing that on Game Pass. That will be played on Xbox. So all you Xbox users that have an Xbox Series S, a Series X, I think even Xbox One, will be able to join us for some Star Wars Battlefront. Again, send us your gamer tags and all that. We'll get you into the games, and we'll just have some fun. There's heroes and villains. There's the big battles. There's the space battles. We'll do all sorts of stuff, really. So
And
that'll
is Star Wars Battlefront not crossplay?
That's the only thing I'm not sure. I haven't checked that.
Because I know friend of the podcast Massacre Die is lethal at Star Wars Battlefront. Like I've watched him stream it, and he's very good, and it'd be very entertaining to try and kill. But if it's not crossplay, then he will not be allowed to play.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 crossplay. Let's see.
Do a quick check. Did we try and play that Battlefront and it had all the streams at the same time? And by the time the game had finished, my game had just started on stream. That was funny.
What was that?
Like I remember, like us. It was us. There was a fourth person. I want to say Nappuccino, but I don't think it was. We tried to do a multi-stream of Star Wars Battlefront 2, and my stream was so behind that by the time we'd played the whole match, my stream was just showing the game starting, and we'd already finished.
I think that's right. Unfortunately, there is no crossplay in Battlefront 2.
Ooh.
So it will be
Xboxers.
Xbox only.
Cool.
But we have some other stuff, and we might well get some folk in to play with us at various other games as well. If we're looking for folk to jump in and out, there will be lots and lots of fun to be had, though. And I'm
so much fun.
I'm looking forward to it. We've got some cool stuff, some kind of unusual stuff. We're gonna of course play some No Man's Sky, which I'm looking forward to exploring a bit. I think with friends, I mean, God knows if we'll actually be able to find each other in the game. Paolo's adamant that it's all fixed now and it's wonderful.
Yeah, but I think you can spawn in with each other now.
We better be able to, because otherwise we're knackered. I'm not travelling across an entire galaxy to try and find everybody.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I played it, I tried to get off the surface of my planet and crashed and died.
Good. Mm-hmm.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
But no, it's gonna be fun. I shall need to, as I say, get on
installing everything.
So my internet's gonna get rammed tonight when I'm asleep.
Another game. I'll tell you one more we're going to do. Actually, I'm quite excited about this. At 2 a.m, we are going to play some of Gears of War 5 Hive Busters. Now, Hive Busters is a co-op campaign, a DLC campaign where you play the Scorpio Squad, and we battle our way through a campaign. So
that sounds fun.
I think that'll be quite a lot of fun. I played a wee bit of it in the tutorial the other day, and I think it's going to be pretty good. And we've got some other bonker stuff as well. There's a game that's basically Minecraft meets some sort of bullet hell. There's all sorts of strange things to play. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. And of course, it's all for a really wonderful cause, and we've got some fun stuff as well. We've got some daft wee forfeit things or sort of viewer rewards that we're going to do, and a few other surprises up our sleeves as well, Blunder Boys. So
very exciting. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Before we move on to the next exciting bit, there is one bit of news. So the news has been dry, but I saw this bit of news and I wanted to share it because everyone is collectively going to go and then facepalm at the exact same moment.
Wait, sorry.
You need to wait.
I know. I need to wait till you say the bit. Sorry.
I've titled this piece personally, called Sony One Step Forward, Two Steps Back. And that information is taken from Kotaku by an article by Ari Notice. And basically, Sony have come forward. They understand that production and getting hold of PS5s is really difficult. So Sony are like, you can now sign up for us and join our line to get the console directly from us. To which everyone went, but there's a but.
Yeah.
The but is
Uh,
you have to be in America.
oh.
So not everyone can get it.
Yep.
And they say technically international people can get it, but it must be shipped to an American address. So there's that.
Good luck
Which
with
would
that.
make me think it's going to be an American PlayStation, which then wouldn't work elsewhere, really.
Well, the plug wouldn't work, but the rest, it's not
yeah.
region locked anymore. So.
Oh, that's true. So you've got it's got to go to an American address.
Mm-hmm.
You must have a PSN account,
Mm-hmm.
which most people you think would have.
Mm-hmm.
You're limited to just one console per PSN account, which again
That seems
makes
fair
sense.
enough.
Then to take part, you have to sign into the account. You have to go through like a verification puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
and then they tell you you're not guaranteed to get one, and it's down to their discretion depending on previous interest and PlayStation activities. Which sounds really sus to me. Like, are they going to look at your trophies list and be like, oh, they've played a lot of PlayStation, we're going to give them it? Or, like, how are they going to know? Like, what are they going to know?
Hang on, Sony, they've got a circle, there's a triangle, there's a square. Is this Squid Game? Are they doing a Squid? Because actually, it sounds that it would be easier to win Squid Game than to actually get a PlayStation via this way right away.
It's so bizarre. It's just like the headline makes you go, there is hope. And then you read it, you go, there's no hope. So I know people are slowly getting them. Baker Boy got theirs thanks to someone in the Discord. And then, actually, Baker Boy, I'm going to tell a story.
Yes.
I don't know how it worked. He had the kind of the magic code. Then he went on to Curry's and bought one, or whoever it was he bought it through. And then he was given like a date it would be like shipped by, and the date came and went and nothing.
Oh.
And he had to keep chasing them up. And then last Saturday, last Friday evening, he phoned, to which they were like, oh yeah, the stock came in, it's sitting here.
Oh God.
And he was like, well, why didn't you phone me? And they're like, yeah. So he went and picked up on the Saturday, and he's been having a great time with it. And then this morning, he got an email from Curry saying, you've managed to get a code to get a PS5. So he's put in the Nailman Discord if anyone is looking for it. Just get in touch with him. And he's kind of like passing forward the favour he got last time. But
I think it's going to go very quick. So if you are looking for a PlayStation and you are a member of the Nearly Men Discord, go straight into there to the chat channel. Baker Boy has put a little message in there. If you speak to Baker Boy, he'll sort you out. He'll help you find a PlayStation, and he's not a scalper.
He's not, and he's just clarifying. His PS5 had been sitting in Curry's for 36 hours. I'd be raging. I'd like, give me the money back and the PlayStation. Thank you very much. I'd be like,
well,
part of me feels like it's maybe the people who work there like, if we just leave it long enough, nobody will come for it, and then we can buy it ourselves.
Well, I'm so glad that Baker Boy got his PlayStation. Let us know what you're thinking of it, Baker Boy. I'm getting confused with Blunderboy and Baker Boy here. This is
like to keep your toes. But I mean, that's it. I think we're going to move on to Colin Little's Little Trivia.
Here we go. We all love some little trivia. If anyone doesn't like little trivia, you take it up with Unauthorized Cinnamon, who requested it. Here we go. Sony's beautiful monster-toppling adventure game Shadow of the Colossus was originally going to feature groups of characters on horseback working to take down the Colossi cooperatively. Couldn't say that word. This proved too taxing for the PS2's hardware, sadly. I mean, I don't think we're that surprised, are we? I mean...
I remember that this evening. I was like, it unlocked a memory when you read that. I can picture it in the magazine with like the bunch of different Wanderers kind of attacking the Colossi, but no, it is no surprise.
Because that game did push the PS2 pretty hard at this time. And these huge open worlds, the Colossus or Colossi themselves were massive, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. You wonder what might have been. What might have been? Okay, here we go. A commercial for the horror game Siren was pulled in Japan after complaints from parents. The advert featured a girl knocking on the window from outside, begging her parents to let her in. The view then switches to the inside and shows the terrified parents in fear of their daughter, who is revealed to be a bloody zombie. Sony said that the fear factor made people uncomfortable.
I love it. I need to go find that advert there. That sounds like a great advert and terrifying and just sums up Siren in general.
It's a pretty scary game, isn't it?
It's terrifying, man. Forbidden Siren 2 is the best out of the three of them. And it never got an American release, which I always like to lord it over my American pals on.
Oh. That's I feels bad for our American friends. And finally, here we go. In the first Max Payne, Max's face was digitized from the series writer Sam Lake. But in the second game, they used an actor named Timothy Gibbs, who starred as Detective Stevens in one episode of Six and the City.
But you know, this makes sense because I refused to play Max Payne because his face scared me. But then when Max Payne 2 came out, I was like, oh, he's hot now.
So it's funny. I hasten to add, I'm not dunking on this actor, right? This actor's been in lots of things. He's got lots of it's the CV of a jobbing actor. You know, he's clearly done an awful lot of work. But it's all like, you know, a kind of guest appearance on this or that and that.
Yeah.
But when I was reading this fact and finding it, it mentioned the fact that he starred in quote unquote ladies' favourite Sex and the City, and I was like, oh, okay, he must be quite a main guy. Obviously, I decided to take ladies' favourite out, but I've now just said it anyway. And I thought, oh, he must be quite a regular character. So I went into IMDb, Timothy Gibbs. No, he was in one episode. So I don't know why. Obviously, whoever wrote it just went, oh, what was he in? Sex and the City.
That one episode of that one big show.
But it does explain why he looks so different from game.
Yeah.
I remember Sam Lake's face. He had quite a deranged look in the first Max Payne. I really like Max Payne. It's a great game.
Shot and he did that grimace face, I was like, no.
The first Max Payne, which of course, what was the famous feature that they had in Max Payne?
Bullet time.
Oh yeah, it was so good. I had it in PC.
This was game to have bullet time, wasn't it?
I think it was. I mean, obviously, it was very much influenced by the Matrix and everything, but the bullet time was excellent. I had a PC at the time that was really, relatively speaking, pretty powerful, and I was able to play it on quite high graphics settings at the time, and I was like, oh, it looks amazing. You would just do the most ridiculous. You would bullet time for just to kill one guy. You would do it constantly. You would overuse it. That was a really good game. I very much enjoyed it. So there you go. There's your Colin Little's little trivia.
Nice. Those were good ones. I liked them this week.
Yay!
I knew every game you were talking about.
And you didn't have to correct me.
I did not at all.
Yay! I now live in fear that you're going to correct me every time I got it. I was worried about the Siren one. I was like, oh dear.
No, I'd read it beforehand, so I knew it was right. I was like, yep, that'll checks out. What would you like to hear about the Game Pass edition?
Would I?
That's why I asked. Would you?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please. So if you have Game Pass, here are the additions that you are going to get. On November 9th, for the console, PC, and cloud, you're getting Football Manager 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was finding that really difficult to say. I thought Football Manager stopped being made.
Well, there's been various ones over the years that sort of come and go, and there's not just Football Manager. There is the other one. What's the other one called? They're not really my games.
Yeah, I had a pal obsessed with them, and I was a bit like, sure, you do your spreadsheets.
Championship Manager. There's one called Championship Manager. So Football Manager's the sort of after Championship Manager, Football Manager kind of came along, and then it's sort of Paolo's the person. He would know more about these.
Yeah. So November 9th, you can get Football Manager 2022, console, PC, cloud. Also, November 9th, You can get Forza Horizon 5.
This looks amazing. It looks
mhm.
really good.
November 11th, for console, PC, and cloud, The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Never
Just
heard
in
of
case
it.
you haven't played that little known game.
So that's coming out on November the 11th, which will be... That is the anniversary of the game's launch, because so that is the 10th anniversary of the
My
game's
God.
launch. 11/11/11 was when it launched. So yeah, there we go.
I kind of like, leave it alone, the horse is dead. And November 30th on console, you can get Evil Genius 2 World Domination, which I'm quite excited by. I've been holding off buying that, and now I'm going to get it part of my Game Pass, and I'm like, I'm so glad I waited.
It looks fun, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
It's got a sort of dungeon keeper sort of feel to it, because it's like a management sim, but you're a baddie, and it's
I watched Magic or Die play it actually a few times on stream, and it's very funny. It's also got that guy. Is it Brian Blessed?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even know that.
It's Brian Blessed or Richard O'Brien. It's one of the two who does one of the voices in it.
Does he talk like that?
I think
Is
it's
it
that one.
Gordon's alive?
I think it's that one.
Because that's Brian Blessed. That was an astonishing Brian Blessed impression.
That was outstanding. It was like he was in the room.
Richard O'Brien's the guy from the
Crystal Maze.
Crystal Maze.
Yeah,
I don't think it's him.
I don't think it's him. But no, it looks real fun. I'd be interested in picking that up and trying that. And then I'll just wonder, is that Brian Blessed or is it Colin_NM who they employed to imitate Brian Blessed?
For half the price. Well, I say half. I mean, a fraction of the cost I am available for. Absolute no bother at all.
But that is up to the end of November, your Game Pass edition.
There we go.
Rolling on with our subbies, which haven't changed much.
Nope.
So, Games with Gold, September 16th, October 15th, you can get Mulaka. October 1st to the 31st, Aero. October the 1st to the 15th, Castlevania Harmony of Despair. October 16th to the 31st, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. And October 6th to the 15th of November, you can get Hover. That's for your Games of Gold. And PlayStation Plus, the month of October, you can get Hell Let Loose on the PS5, Mortal Kombat 10 on the PS4, and PGA Tour 2021 PS4 also. I always think it's funny, but like subbies, like Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus, they never make them like horror themed for the month of October. You'd think they'd kind of definitely, I mean, Resident Evil's there.
Yeah.
Castlevania kind of, but you'd think they'd maybe kind of go down the route of...
Or at least have like one game that was a bit spooky.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's an odd one. It's an odd one. The PlayStation Plus games, there's a lot of value. They're making a big deal of the fact it's like 65 quid's worth of games or something like that. The PlayStation Plus, it's a strong month. I mean, yeah, there's not necessarily that particular list kind of has something for everyone to an extent, kind of. I mean, not really, but you know, there's a shoot 'em up, there's a beat 'em up, and there's also a sports game.
Golf 'em up.
Sorry,
I golf 'em up.
a golf 'em up. Yeah, indeed. That's the preferred term for it. So it's not a bad month for PlayStation. The Xbox games are a wee bit odd.
Yeah, the Xbox games, two of them were well-known franchises, and the other three, you're like, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I suppose while we're talking about this, I did myself and Paolo last weekend. You were unable to. Don't worry. Poor unauthorized Cinnamon's keyboard having a hairy canary in the,
I was
in the
looking
chat.
like, do we need to phone an ambulance?
Sorry, I was familiar, so I wasn't remotely. This has been a common problem for poor Cinnamon. I wasn't rattled. I wasn't rattled, but everybody else was.
I was like, get my phone out. Like, 911.
So for listeners of the podcast, it basically that that sort of like we were talking about people dying and like scrawling a kind of the pen dragging down the page as they die. Well, Cinnamon did this sort of equivalent of what would happen if you were shot at your keyboard and you just like fell onto your keys.
I'm like, Cinnamon's been eaten by zombies.
I don't think Cinnamon wrote Itchy Tasty earlier on tonight, so I think we should be fine.
If anything, at one point it looks like they've wrote Daddy, but I mean that could just be
That you just see what you want to see, Blunder. Anyway, try and desperately drag this back on track. Myself and Paolo, you were out in the Randan, Blunder Boy.
I was not. I was in my bed out.
Yeah, he was on the Randan. But no, you were ill. We played Hell Let Loose.
You did, and how did you find it?
We had a great time actually. We played it with Gavin Alaf and Col Mac 42 and Dancing Toaster. So we played with a few members of the community, and it's a lot of fun. It's quite hard, I would say. We were also gutted to see that there's no bloody crossplay for it after poor Raturian bought the game to come and play with us, and there was no PC to console crossplay at the moment, which seems strange. I'm hoping they're going to fix that because it seems an oversight. I kind of know why for game balance they sometimes obviously will not do that, but I think a game like that probably does need it needs players, and I think the more players you can get together, the better. But yeah, it's much less arcadey than the Battlefield series. It's much more simulation based. It's much more tactics based.
It looked very I Am Soldier.
Yeah,
Like it looked real. Ooh.
And it is sort of super realistic as well. Like literally, one bullet's enough to kill you. One bullet is literally enough to kill you. And it's quite something because you know, say you find yourself like heading towards an enemy and you see them in the distance, and say you've sort of flanked them and you're on and they've not necessarily seen you. You're sort of standing there with your rifle going, I need to shoot at these guys, but I kind of need to make sure that my shot's going to hit because in a moment they're going to turn and they're going to fire on me as well, and I need to make sure that that I get them. And I sort of, there was a couple of moments where I ran up and with my machine gun just sort of like frantically fired in their direction and sort of sprayed a hail of bullets at them, and luckily enough I did hit them and dropped them with one stray shot that actually hit them. And I was like, oh, whereas in Battlefield that would have barely nicked them, and sure enough they'd have turned round and hit me and killed me, no doubt, with a headshot. So it's got that sort of level of realism about it, and you really do have to think. It's got a lot more of the, that way where we always joke about the fact that a game like that shows how terrible we would be in an actual war, and how quickly we'd be killed. And then there's other games where you play and you're like, I'd be brilliant in a war because I can just run out guns everywhere and take a couple of hits but I kill everybody. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. You literally need to really think about where you're going to go. You need to think about cover. You need to think about working as a team, because you make a mistake and you're dead. And the maps are absolutely gigantic. There's on top of that this big strategy thing. There's one person playing as the commander and they're dropping resources and they're planting sort of garrisons and areas where you can spawn from that does, in essence, make your life a bit easier, but it's really great. And we had people coming through the radio on the PlayStation controller, and they're genuinely talking tactics. There was a guy who was in one of the armored divisions. He had a tank, and he's like, "We're coming down this street. Infantry, get behind us, use us as cover." And the team's really working with it. And then at other points they're like, "Oh, we've just lost our tracks because the vehicles can be damaged in a lot of ways. They're also incredibly difficult to drive, as we found out, as we ended up crashing several tanks into and whereas in a Battlefield or something like, you would just wiggle your tank around a bit and eventually it would sort of like right itself or fix itself. No, we were stuck. And we spent ages trying to clear it, and we could not clear it.
It was like watching Dad's Army sometimes, if you'd actually seen Dad's Army in the trenches.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was just very, very difficult. But I really like it. I really do hope people keep playing it. I'm gonna, want to play more of it with people. And I think if you get yourself a good squad and you're all working together, I think it could be really great to play. It looks really good on PlayStation 5. It's going to need a wee couple of. There's a few wee graphical things that will need a bit of a fix, but it was really good. So I really did enjoy playing it, and I think it's a pretty good game for PS Plus. And of course, it's
Nice.
Team 17. It's the guys that make the Worms games.
It's like Worms
they've
and steroids.
they've sort of it was one of the other studios, I believe, that took the helm off it, but it's still not the sort of game you expect Team 17 to do. You expect Worms and Overcooked and Moving Out and that sort of stuff. You expect these sort of more couch co-op, arcadey sort of cartoony sort of things. This is a really realistic, hyper realistic sim. It's
I'm just waiting for the Overcooked DLC skin pack.
I know, can you imagine? It'd be excellent. Throwing cleavers and chopped onions at people.
Now that I could get on board.
Sign me up.
Love it. Wait, else you been playing, Colin?
So a couple of things. Still diving into Sea of Thieves. I am really, really enjoying Season 4 of Sea of Thieves. This is really great. You'll need to check it out yourself, Blunder. They've now opened up all the Under the Waves stuff. So you've now got the Siren Shrines and the Siren Treasuries. The shrines in particular feature all these journals that tell you more about the whole story between the Siren Queen and the Ancients, and how the Sirens became what they are now, how they turned on people, how they now drag sailors to their graves and all that sort of stuff. It's beautiful.
Yes.
There's a whole load of brand new beautiful treasure in the game. It's all coral. It's all coral treasure. It's all beautiful looking. And it just adds a whole other element to the game that now you can go. People were for so long thinking, well, what are they going to do? They're going to expand it out. They're going to add another region to this part of the sea. People are, they're going to make a frozen land. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. No, they've went below the waves. And
that's nice. I like that. It's unexpected.
It's very cool, and it adds another level of threat as well, because you have to leave your ship. You have to leave your ship and go below the depths, but they've also thought this through, the devs at Rare. They've made a really good deal of it. You can basically store your treasure with the mermaid statues, and then even if somebody sinks your ship, you can come up. You can come up, and the mermaid that's on the surface will just hold your treasure for as long as you want, and you can go and get your other ship and come back. You can re-raise your emissary flag. You will not lose your stuff. Of course, once you get the mermaid to release it, the treasure all comes up floating to the surface, and then it's panic time to get it on board before somebody pinches it. But that whole risk reward thing of Sea of Thieves, that's what it's all about. So it's really great. I am loving it so far. The Battle Pass, the Plunder Pass this year is probably the best value there's been so far. I think you're getting a lot better stuff. They've got the Wicked Web costume, weapon set. There's a ship set. The Twilight Hunter stuff that's coming from Twitch drops. There's the Jackal Looter ship set. There's the Jackal Looter costume. It's all spooky. And I think you'd quite like it, actually. I think you'd quite like some of the stuff, Blunder. It just really feels that they're really getting into the groove of the seasons now, and I'm really enjoying it. Myself and Ride or Die achieved the Coral Curse as well, which is this like really haunting sort of like black and kind of bright coloured curse that lives under your skin. It looks really, really cool. So we've got that as well, which we're very pleased with. We got that by doing all the shrines, finding all the books, and as I said, the lore is excellent. It's really great. It's probably the most I've been interested in the lore of Sea of Thieves recently. So having a great time with that, and of course, Blunder, you know this. This is the one you were wanting me to talk about. I'm playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time.
How you finding it?
It's very good, isn't it? It is very good.
Yes.
Controls are a bit outdated.
Watching you with the controls is so... Funny. Do you use the analog stick or the D-pad to control?
I use the analog sticks.
See, it's interesting. I still use the D-pad because it's got original tank controls.
See, yeah, I've never really thought about
It
that.
you might find it a wee bit easier using your D-pad rather than the analog stick.
Well, I'm sort of getting there with it now. I have to say, it's amazing how much, how influenced by it the Village is. Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
It's very thematically similar. It's got a lot of similar sort of sections to it. You know, there's a sort of swampy section. There's there's now a castle that I'm in.
Yeah.
I like how actiony it is. I like the fact that I don't really have to worry too much about conserving ammo. There are points where certain pieces of ammo I might want to keep, you know, my more powerful weapons, but generally I'm not at any point panicking too much about running out of ammo, which is good. It suits my style of play a bit better.
Yeah. So I think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think Resident Evil 4 was one of the first games to have an adaptive difficulty system.
Oh.
So it reads what you're doing and it gives you appropriate loot as it sees fit.
Okay.
So it's not quite the way the remake Resident Evil 2 and 3 and 7 and 8's adaptive difficulty is, where it throws more tougher enemies and stuff. But what it will do is it will adapt to what it's given you.
Okay.
So that you are always on the brink of just
enough.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was one of the first games to have that kind of
Nice.
reading your progress and adapting to suit.
I have to say, I'm liking the story a lot. I mean, it's a bit bonkers. You're saving the president's daughter from some bizarre cult.
Yeah.
But I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I tell you this much. See, when Resident Evil 4 Remake comes out, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait because I think they're going to do it. Not totally the story will be the same, but I think they're going to go more horror. It'll be interesting to see how they make it more horror because it's so iconic. And the funny thing is, I've played it so many times. When I played Resident Evil 4, I just go, "Oh, not this bit! Oh, not this bit! Oh, not this bit!" So it's quite nice watching you for the first time because you don't have that. You're just like, "What's happening? Oh my gosh!" Yeah, whereas in my head, I'm like, "Oh."
I can see why people like it so much. It is. Resident Evil 4, certainly as far as I'm aware, is a lot of people's favourite Resident Evil. And I know that the GameCube version of the game is sort of like held up as like the iconic version of the game.
Yeah.
I'm playing the PS4 kind of HD remaster version on PS5. And the only thing is the controls are just a bit terrible. But aside from that, the game looks really good graphically. And
Capcom does good looking games.
the guns are nice and satisfying, and I do love the whole "what are you buying?" all that stuff, and constantly I'm like, I just want to buy all the guns. I just want to buy all the guns.
I want everything.
But yeah, I have to say, very pleasantly surprised so far. What I seen, I mean, I'm not really pleasantly surprised. People had told me it was good. I kind of believed people that it was good. But yeah, it so far it lives up to the hype. Is what I would say.
Good.
Yeah. What about yourself? What you been playing?
So when I was sick, I didn't want to play anything new because I wasn't really retaining information. So I went back and I played through the whole of Final Fantasy VIII Remaster on my PS5.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
How long did that take?
Like 14 hours because it's the remaster. You can play it 3 times the speed, and then there's a button that makes you like super strong with so lots of health. And I was like, I've completed this game legitimately like 6 times, so I'm doing the cheats way. But it was nice revisiting it just because I know like the story and getting to see it looking all pretty. Because it was my first Final Fantasy, so it's one of my favourites. And me and MG play games. It was our first game that we bonded over, that and Resident Evil 4. Funny enough. So it was nice going back. The story is bonkers. I forgot how bonkers the story is for Final Fantasy. And it gets more bonkers as you go into it. But it was fun. It was good fun playing it again. And yeah, it was just nice being able to play something I didn't have to learn, if that makes sense, when I wasn't feeling that well, because I just didn't have the mental capacity for it. But when I was feeling a bit better, I did start Hollow Knight,
Uh-huh.
which I was watching Cal's just
Cal's
fine.
just fine, yeah. He's been playing it. Yeah, he's a
So he was
massive fan.
Yeah, so he was playing it, and I know MG Play Games loves it to pieces as well. I must have got it when it was a PS Plus game years ago, and I remember starting it, and I think I died at like the first monster, and was like, I'm not playing this. This is too annoying. But since I've went back, I have loved it. Like, I mean, loved it to the point I sat last Sunday for 11 hours and played it without taking a break.
Wolf.
Like,
That is a lot of Hollow Knight.
Like, yeah, like I was just sitting like, and yet every so often my control pad was like, battery running low. I was like, plug in, keep playing. It's beautiful. It's such a good game. Like, it's massive.
Yep.
There's so much to it. The lore is really interesting. All the different areas have their own unique not art style, but it's the same art style, but each design and specific enemies. And
Yeah, they've got a different feel to them, haven't they?
it's amazing how much they've put in one wee game. And it's, for me, it's the kind of challenging where I can learn how to get through it eventually.
Yeah.
Whereas with Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I get a bit more frustrated by them. I think probably Dark Souls and Bloodborne are a wee bit too difficult for my liking. Whereas Hollow Knight gets it just right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been 2 bosses I still had to go away and try the next day because I was just like, this is impossible. But again, it's adapting tactics and adapting your pins, your badges and stuff. And I find that much more interesting to do than in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, when it's like, this is your build, you just have to be good at it. But no, it's really good, really enjoying it. I think I've got myself stuck in an optional area, so I'm going to go back to the main story, I think. But no, it's been a lot of fun just playing that on my own as well. Playing a game just myself.
Just
not
for your,
streaming, it's
yeah,
been
just
quite
for
nice.
yourself, yeah.
I know the Hollow Knight community is terrible for backseat gaming when you stream it. Everyone I know, I think even you said.
Yeah,
you
I
tried
had
to
some
stream playing it.
pretty bad backseating when I tried to stream it. It's quite frustrating.
Just people coming in and giving it the big I am, and you're like, well, do one. So I'm glad I kind of avoided that. And then I am trying to get through all the games I own but haven't finished.
Oh God, don't even tell me. Oh no, got so many.
I returned to one which we had been given codes for, so I kind of was like, I really should finish this, and it is a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I sat. Was it Saturday? I decided I was stuck in a boss in Hollow Knight, and I was like, I'm just going to stop and play something else. And I was like, let's go back to Ratchet and Clank. Play it for a wee bit. 5 hours later, I went to my bed. It just get better and better the more I played it. It looks gorgeous. It's like playing an animated film. It's just, there's nothing. It's so flawlessly animated. The voice acting's amazing.
Yep.
I love the way the level up system works with the guns. The more you use them, the stronger they get.
Yep.
It's just so like intuitive, and it rewards you for trying new tactics
and using new weapons as well. Yeah,
and using new weapons. So like, I never tried it this electric gun, and then it started becoming my go-to starting weapon for a fight, and then thrown in a bunch of other things. I loved all that. I think the gameplay is outstanding. The variety, there's so many cool bits when you have to do the rail gliding, when you're like sliding the rails. And there's lots of stuff happening behind you, and you're just like, how is this all happening in real time? How am I being part of this event that's happening in the game?
It's a technical marvel.
It is like
astonishing.
The story's interesting because every time I thought we were coming to like the end, it kept going, but in a good way. It was like, I never felt like it dragged out, but it gave me a new question to answer for the next cutscene, and it made me want to continue playing it. And then I stopped right before the last boss, and had to finish it on the Sunday. And the last boss bit is great. The whole third act of the game is great, and you get really emotionally invested in the storyline and the characters.
I'm gonna have to get back into it.
So like Baker Boy got it for his PS5, and he said he started it. And I was like, I've just finished it. And he's like, what would you give it? And I was like, I'd probably have to say a 10 out of 10.
There we are.
Like, it's everything. The only thing you might say is it's not difficult enough if you're like someone who likes a difficult game. Like, I think the only time I died was when I fell off edges or I did something stupid. But in combat, I was never like, oh, I'm going to die.
So
At the end of the game, at the start, I had a few moments of that, but at the end of the game, I was a bit. But then there's that you can change. You get a new game plus where it's like challenge mode and
okay,
everything's harder.
oh that's good. It's certainly Ratchet and Clank 2016 had a very difficult last fight,
Oh, I never finished the last
which
fight.
I
I
think
YouTube the ending.
I think that made you rage quit, didn't it? You were
I raged quit
furious.
so hard, and I think when we got the codes for this, I was a bit like, "Sorry, piece of trash," because I was like, "I know what your game is like." So I think I tried harder with this to get better at it. So maybe that's why I was like, "It's not that difficult," because I was again using different weapons and different tactics, and
I
really enjoyed it. So
loved
fun.
Ratchet and Clank 2016. So when Sony did send us codes, I was very excited, and I'm sort of
Yeah.
halfway through the game. I need to get back to it. We were so lucky. This is absolute first world problems here. I'm like, oh, I've got so many people keep
got too
sending
many
us
games.
games. Well, it's the thing is as well as like obviously there's games I've bought, and then we've been very lucky. I've been sent a whole bunch of games. You know, I had loads of games on my plate already, and then Sony sent us Death Stranding as well. And it's like, oh, and it's an epic. So yeah, it's on my pile. I'm definitely not going to let it gather dust. It is, and I think once save points out of the way, I'm going to get back into it because it's brilliant.
The nice thing as well is, for those who know, in Ratchet and Clank, you visit a bunch of different planets, studio-wise. The levels themselves, they aren't huge. So like, even if you finish a planet, you know you can stop and you're not going to miss any story because it's quite compartmentalized in that way. But it's quite nice. It's like I went in when I went loading up my game, I was 42% of the way through the game, but I remembered what I'd done, and going back into it, I wasn't like, what was I doing? Where was I going? Because I'd stopped at that bit between planets or between targets. So it worked quite well being broke up that way. But if you do have a PS5 or you're going to get a PS5, highly recommend Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
It's very good.
Just it's close to perfection just now as a platform game's going to get, I'd say.
Nice.
Viewers have been in touch. Let's hear what they've been playing. So Mimi Cattails in the Discord says, I have the RE6 demo for my Switch. I'm looking forward to trying. Guessing that's Resident Evil 6.
Yes, I believe it is,
The
yeah.
thing I think of. So let us know you got me that, Mimi Cattails. And let us know what the demo is. I think I know it. I think it's the university stuff, but let us know what the demo actually is and your thoughts on it. Evil Monkey says you have to guess the game I'm playing.
What game do you think Evil Monkey's playing?
Could it possibly be Sea of Thieves?
I mean, it might be. It might be. But,
Maybe
I did see some folk wondering if it was Leisure Suit Larry. I mean, it definitely could be that as well.
I could be both at the same time. Maybe sailing the seas while playing Leisure Suit Larry.
It's very possible with Evil Monkey. Very possible.
Tommy B298 has been playing Back 4 Blood, which is pretty good. Not a game changer, but does everything you expect really well. It's also absolutely relentless. I
haven't played it yet. I've been waiting.
I get it downloaded, but I've not started it. So I think after save point, we'll have to have a wee maybe next.
Well, I think next multiplayer night probably will be Back 4 Blood. I think that's every possibility.
Yeah. Hamster Boy, Mr. Producer. Been building a little dinosaur play park in Jurassic World Evolution and fighting with my flatmate on Overcooked. That was PlayStation Plus. Oh gosh, hope you don't need a new flatmate.
The divorce game.
Yeah. Also, don't play it on the beach in Gran Canaria. You get strange looks at you and shout at your husband. Jamesy42 on the Twitter had to go at the Avengers since it came to Game Pass, and it's a bit meh, to be honest.
Yep.
Same as Back 4 Blood, although it might be better playing with other people. Still having fun with Sea of Thieves. Oh, and all the best for Saturday. Thank you, Jamesy.
Thank you, Jamesy.
Yeah, Avengers. It was. I enjoyed my time with Avengers. Have I gone back? No.
I got bored. I'm halfway through the story, and I literally got so bored.
Yeah, I liked it, and there was I had a pure moment and stuff, but I mean I'm not running out.
It's got some pretty weird difficulty spikes. Like there's certain bits where it's just unbelievably hard, and then you die and you have to go all the way back to the start of the mission, and that just I was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not even enjoying it.
There was one bit I was just like, I don't know how I did that fight. When I did it, I was like, I just button mashed. Original Stephen on Twitter finished Tormented Souls and played some Potion Craft.
Ooh.
Also made a start on Metroid Dread, but not too far into it. Hearing lots of great things about Metroid Dread.
I did hear some people on the internet greeting about how it was too hard. There's an article about how it's too hard.
The Metroid game. Just get good.
It's apparently great.
And
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it.
I've watched a couple of streams. I'll never play it, so I just watched a couple of streams in it, and they look pretty good. I'll Newbist on Twitter. Like James42, I too have played Back 4 Blood and found it a bit meh. I also get back at Guild Wars 2. Interesting. We need to figure out what the meta is for Back 4 Blood. A bit interesting.
Aye,
See
well,
what
Tommy
makes it
Tommy
meh.
B kind of said kind of words to the same effect. It was pretty good, not a game changer, does everything you'd expect. So I guess it's just a bit like,
I did see a post, and I don't know if it was by the original developers of Left 4 Dead, but it was something like, why have a burger when you have steak? And it was like a picture of Left 4 Dead next to Back 4 Blood or something.
No, do you know who it was? It was KFC. It was
is that what it was?
It was KFC Gaming that for some reason decided to do that.
I was pure confused, and I was like, I don't know if that's a fake thing or not.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It was an interesting thing.
Yeah. It's a bit odd.
KFC Gaming. If you give us free food, you can sponsor us. Jamie Simpson through Facebook. Hey guys, hope you're all well. When I get the time, I'm playing mostly the Medium on PS5 and Metroid Dread on Switch. Both excellent. Stay safe. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you,
I
Jamie.
actually finished the Medium. I was enjoying my time with it. And Joe Keenan has said, FIFA, mate, just FIFA. Is there any other games? Well, there is. Joe Keenan, if you look at everything people's been playing. If you would like to get in touch with us, here's how you can do that.
There we go.
Excellent. So please do get in touch. Let us know what you're playing and let us know why you think things are meh or yeah. I couldn't think of a good word there. Right, let's fire through these. Let's fire through these new releases and wrap this up.
Yep.
From the 15th of the 10th, you can get Ancient Stories, Gods of Egypt on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Crisis Remastered Trilogy on PC and all major consoles. Demon Slayer, The Hikonami Chronicles on PC and all major consoles except Switch. The Good Life on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. It's Glaylancer?
Glaylancer,
Xbox One and Switch. And Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town on PS4 and Xbox One. On the 18th, you can get Nuclear Blaze on the PC. And on the 19th, you can get Into the Pit on PC and Xbox One. A Plague Tale Innocence, the PS5 and Xbox Series version. War Mongrels on the PC. Good YouTuber's Life 2 on the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. On the 20th, you can get Healing Spree on the PC and Jars on PC and Switch. Just picturing very vicious, like Jaws, but a jar.
Just like a glass jar floating around the water.
Biting their ankles. And on the 21st to the 10th, you can get Growbot on the PC, Resident Evil 4 VR on Oculus VR. Tempted. This is the only reason I can buy an Oculus to play that game. So
that's how Zuckerberg gets you, mate.
Sands of Aura on the PC. And Tandem, A Tale of Shadows on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Yeah.
I am so glad there's nothing interesting coming out in that time period. Because
you now need to afford an Oculus.
And then the 28th of October, right before Spooky Halloween, the Project 5 remaster comes out on the PS5, and I am dying for that. So I'm like, there can take my money.
We should get codes for Paolo, so that Paolo can play that.
Yes, absolutely.
He'd love that.
Absolutely. Like, just make him play it the whole time. Questions from chat. Colin, anything interesting?
I got a whole bunch of stuff in the chat. Not so much questions, but some lovely chat. Audentior was in earlier on saying, hey everyone, sorry, I've been a bit quiet lately, I've been so busy. Well, that's all right, Audentior, lovely to hear from you. Lovely to see you. Asking about headphones earlier on, we were wondering about wired or wireless. Daybreak 1591 says, I am a wired person. I'm always forgetting the charge, and I'm scared my dogs will eat the AirPods. Although that would be funny to find by just hearing the music playing from their stomach. Do not, Daybreak.
Please don't do that experiment.
Don't feed your AirPods to your dog.
Let's not.
Unauthorized Cinnamon came in to troll you, Blunder. Came in to troll you by saying the new Resident Evil movie will never capture the glorious achievement of filmmaking that is the OG films. Furious. He's furious.
Cinnamon, you're lucky that I know that you're just jesting.
Jesting. Unauthorized jesting. Evil Monkey came in with a suggestion saying you guys should have Paul Kaczynski on the show sometime.
We would, but it's just very difficult to pin him down.
It's very hard. It's the social butterfly is just always away on holiday these days. The jet setter
keeps denying our requests for him to come appear on the show, and he's just not.
He seems to be making an awful lot more money out of this vendetta, this whole thing than we are, eh? Eh?
First class tickets to Oban.
Disappearing away, and he's not there. He's not in Oban. I better not say where he is, but he's in a completely different part of the country. So if you want to stalk Paul Kaczynski, I'll tell you this much: don't go to Open because he's not there. So I mean, maybe we could see about getting Paul Kaczynski on the show. And Alnubis said, "Is Skyrim trying to fight GTA 5 for the number of different versions of the game available?"
I'm pretty sure Skyrim's winning.
Yeah.
So Skyrim, GTA 5, Resident Evil 4, those are like the three major games that have like a bajillion versions of the game.
And they're on like every platform near enough.
But I think Skyrim wins for the sheer fact that it has a text version on the Amazon device, which I won't say because it'll wake up and shout.
I'll get shouted at. I forgot that there was this. That's right enough.
It's like one of the old books where you choose your path, sort of thing.
That's quite cool, to be fair.
It's something.
So that was it. And obviously, I see Evil Monkey in answer to the question earlier on said, we said it was either playing Sea of Thieves or Leisure Suit Larry. Evil Monkey said, "I'm living Leisure Suit Larry right now." And of course, Unauthorized Cinnamon replied with to our brief chat a moment ago, just saying, "Kentucky Fried Console." Yep. That's the next thing. That will be the next thing.
All those spices.
That's it.
Upcoming streams. Colin, besides the big event at the weekend, are you streaming at all? Or are you taking some
I am taking some time. No, the only show in town this weekend is Saturday night at 7 p.m. BST on twitch.tv/The Nearly Men. It is The Nearly Men Boldly Go for Save Point 2021. We're going to do 24 hours of sci-fi video games starting from 7 p.m. on Saturday 8 p.m. 7 p.m. BST on Saturday 16th, and we will finish at 7 p.m. BST on Sunday the 17th of October. So that'll be quite exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. As I said, we cannot stress enough how important a cause this is to us all. It is, of course, to raise much needed funds for the Edinburgh Children's Hospital charity. It's a wonderful charity. The kids that are undergoing treatment at this time at this hospital, they're treated for a variety of illnesses. A lot of them are incredibly serious. A lot of these kids have either life limiting or even terminal illnesses, and the support that it gives the kids themselves and the charity give to the families of these children. I mean, it must be absolutely hellish to go through. Sherry Bobbins has sent me this actually. To go through at any point in your life, having any sort of ill child must be absolutely hell on earth. But to have one that's very, very seriously ill, and to kind of have to put your life on hold to look after your child and spend every moment with them, must be extremely difficult, and the charity helps. And the wonderful thing about the charity is that they have a little tagline that says "Child first, patient second." I think a lot of kids who get ill, the illness, there's a danger that the illness would define their life or take over their life, or they would just be that wee child that has the illness. And that's not it. These kids are kids first, and they should not be, regardless of what sort of struggles and issues that there are in their lives, they should be able to have a childhood as best as possible, and that's what the charity looks to do. And actually, Blunder, I just received we got a lovely handwritten letter from the charity the other day,
Oh.
but they also sent us these which I'll get to you at some point. These are our medals for being heroes, and these are
that's
made.
cute.
These are made by children from the charity. Children from the hospital, for being a Save Point hero. So I don't think this will fit. It won't fit over my headphones. So we've got this. We've got one for us all. This is mine and yours, and Paolo's is there as well. So I will get that to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can donate at www.thenearlymen.com, and you can really make a difference. You can really make a difference. Obviously, please only donate if you can. There's lots of other ways you can help supporting us, just by spreading the words, just by watching, by hosting. If you're a streamer yourself, by raiding, of course, by following us on Twitch, and just helping to spread the word and raise awareness. The majority of the folk who do Save Point already have been. They've all done it. There's already £15,000 been raised by all the other teams. So there's only two of us left. There's the Nearly Men and a lovely friend of the podcast, Tom Freeman. And Tom Freeman's actually one of the people who first set up Save Point. He's one of the main dudes, right? He's also an actor, a Scottish actor as well. So we're the last one standing. We're going a wee bit later, and we're going to try and push, because Rockstar Games are matching donations up to £20,000. Now, what I don't know is whether or not that was only for that weekend, or whether we both qualify. I'm not sure. I'm still looking to clarify. But either way, the charity's already £15,000 up, and I just know that the wonderful community here are just going to help us get ourselves a wee bit closer there as well. And who knows where we'll finish. As I said, we've got lots of fun stretch goals. And actually, do you know what? I'm just going to say it, Blunder. I'm going to tell folk. There will be various rewards during the event. We'll be doing sort of daft stuff and having a bit of a laugh. But one of the things we will do as we reach various milestones is Blunder, myself, and Paul Kaczynski will be reading out completely unrehearsed performances of some of the famous scenes from sci-fi movie history. So
it's gonna be something.
So we'll be playing all the roles, and we will endeavour to not be cancelled, and to hopefully entertain and delight as we go. We'll sort of decide as and when we go, as we reach various milestones, what ones we'll do, and we'll maybe get some polls in the chat to see which one people want to see. But we've got Empire Strikes Back, we've got Revenge of the Sith, we've got Blade Runner, we've got Aliens. We've got, I'm trying to think what other screenplays I've managed to get a hold of. We've got hundreds of stuff, right? Absolutely hundreds of stuff. So we'll have a bit of fun with that. So I really hope you can join us, and don't forget, of course, the community games as well. Get your gamer tags and EA accounts and your Epic store, or your Epic friend code, whatever, I can't remember what it's called. Send us your deets if you want to play, and we will play some community games.
Awesome.
There we are.
Well, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy.
Mr. Producer.
Yeah, I was worried you almost missed that call. And the next episode of the podcast will be live here on www.twitch.tv/TheNailymen. It'll be episode 98 at 8 p.m. on the 28th of October.
I can't believe we're at episode 98 next time. Unbelievable.
I know.
Unbelievable.
But until then, Colin, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well done. Remember to charge joypads, folks. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.